Tonight on CFTK-TV News, Vancouver's mayor wants support of housing away from the Granville Entertainment District. First responders in BC are warning of rising OD calls, and questions are being asked about two idle long-term care facilities.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cale Maslin, and here's what's making the news in the Northwest and beyond for today. A statement from the North District RCMP revealed that human remains that were recently discovered by Lac Williams have been identified. Lawrence Maitland is the one who was found close by the Indigenous community located near the city of Prince Rupert. Maitland had last been seen pushing his bike along Victoria Street in Lac Williams back in 2019, before he disappeared in a manner that the RCMP deemed suspicious. No other information about the discovery is being released at this time. The Terrace RCMP released a statement saying that the C-STEP initiative that was launched back in June of this year has been successful on every front. The program has been in effect for around 4 months, and the Terrace police have made about 231 additional arrests, with 43 people being charged, 45 charges being laid, and 47 violation tickets being issued. Some of the items that have been seized by the police through this program include swords, throwing knives, cocaine, bear spray, methamphetamine, a homemade shield, and contraband tobacco. 15 repeat offenders have also been referred to local social services like Northern Health and Intensive Case Management Team. The Terrace RCMP then reaffirmed how pleased they were with the program and said that it's really benefited the community. Another report from the Kitimat RCMP detailing what they went throughout most of the past week has yet again been released. One area of the report mentioned that officers were out checking if vehicles on Highway 37 had their winter tires on. Around 100 vehicles were checked in the span of about an hour, and only a couple of the vehicles that were stopped did not have the appropriate tires. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim is demanding the province do more to push supportive housing away from the Granville Entertainment District. Sim joined business owners and Vancouver police to call on clear timelines to close the units that have led to significant damage to the area. As CTV's Yasmin Ganda reports, advocates are concerned for where people are supposed to go.
Fires, floods, and open drug use frequently force businesses in this block of the Granville Strip to close.
We've had objects thrown out of the windows with no disregard for staff or customers. And since 2020, we've endured over 100 flooding incidents there that have caused great disruption and damage to my business.
It's now prompting the mayor and business owners to call for the immediate closure of 3 supportive housing buildings between Nelson and Davie.
So how can the province admit that these buildings are contributing to disorder and public safety issues, and then fail to follow through on their commitments?
Sim wants the province to close the SROs, which are run by BC Housing.
Unless there is a clear plan of where people are supposed to go if these SROs are closed down, what is the solution?
Some advocates say they're left with more questions than answers to what comes next.
All we're doing is moving a problem elsewhere and not really doing the investment that we know that we need.
The Lugat, an SRO that used to be the Howard Johnson Hotel, will shut its doors in June. Now the mayor wants the remaining 2 to shut down and for more involuntary care beds in Vancouver to address substance use issues.
Not a single new bed to serve the city with the most severe mental health cases in the entire province.
Let's look at voluntary treatment before we head down a significant path of involuntary treatment for substance use disorder, because the outcomes when it's voluntary are much stronger.
The Hospitality Vancouver Association says since being converted to SROs, there's been an 800% increase in emergency calls to the police and fire departments.
Before we welcome the world to Vancouver for FIFA, we are here to provide an update on the state of Granville Street.
In a statement to CTV News, the province agrees the conditions are unacceptable, and it's working to relocate tenants who would have to resort to sleeping on the street. The province did not confirm if or when the closure would happen. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
Coming up next, a study shows that seniors are struggling to recover from surgeries. Welcome back. First responders on the front lines of BC's public health emergency are warning about a rise in overdose calls. They say it's due to a new containment that's entered the drug supply, and as CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports, the drug is so strong that the antidote to revive people isn't working as well.
A few hours into a shift at this fire hall in Vancouver's downtown east side, and first responders have already been called to numerous overdoses.
The increase in obviously the total amount is unprecedented. We've never seen this number of them before. This 54 in a day is nothing like past events at all.
The outreach team at Union Gospel Mission, only a few blocks away, is experiencing the same thing.
3 overdoses every 3 days, sometimes multiple overdoses a day. It fluctuates, but it's been very hectic.
Health authorities say while overdoses are declining nationally, the recent uptick is blamed on a number of factors, including a contaminant called medetomidine.
It's very toxic, and it's used basically to sedate people while they have all kinds of tubes and stuff in them, getting, real intense procedures in the emergency department. So you can imagine if somebody takes some of that drug on the street, it's going to make them very sedated.
We're seeing it pop up at higher concentrations in the unregulated drug supply. So for many people, this might be the first time they've heard of medetomidine. It's a potent non-opioid veterinary sedative, and it's approximately 200 times more potent than xylazine.
Mixed with opioids, it can complicate how first responders reverse overdoses with naloxone.
Nothing will happen, or we might have somebody just stay down for a very long time. So it's very deadly, very dangerous.
Before, historically, people would kind of come up from an overdose kind of in a predictable way. Here, it seems like they're staying down for longer, kind of needing more resources, more time.
While the latest data from the BC Coroner's Service shows overdose deaths are declining, those on the front line say they want British Columbians to remember the human toll.
These are people that we spend every day with. They're people that have, families and stories and hopes and dreams. And so I just really want people to be able to say, okay, this is not some distant crisis. It isn't just a statistic. These are actual humans, and they matter immensely.
Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
On to coverage of the Sunshine Coast, a petition circulating to decrease wait times for long-term care beds, with 2 facilities full. 2 former long-term care facilities are still sitting idle, which has officials and residents asking questions. CTV News' Dimitra Maragos is taking a closer look at the realities of aging in remote communities in British Columbia.
There could be a long road ahead for those waiting for long-term care facilities on the Sunshine Coast.
We're geographically isolated. Out here, there's not many options.
Sarah's trying to get her mother on the list for a long-term care bed. With Silverstone Care Facility in Sechelt and Christensen Village in Gibson's full, she's nervous.
It's tough. It definitely keeps me up at night.
But Sarah says there could be more beds available.
The space is there. Somebody should be using it.
In 2023, Vancouver Coastal Health decommissioned Shorncliffe and Totem Lodge. Residents were relocated to Silverstone. 2 years later, the fencing and wood boards are still up at Shorncliffe, and no one is living at Totem Lodge. VCH says it is working with an engineering firm to assess both buildings. While a review of Shorncliffe is still ongoing, the assessment of Totem Lodge is done, and VCH is exploring options.
I find it perplexing that they're still planning, apparently.
The mayor of Sechelt says time isn't on their side.
We won't be ready.
His community needs additional beds now.
Having that facility sitting empty is a waste.
Frustrated, Sarah started this petition to decrease long-term care bed wait times.
I think the community wants answers from Vancouver Coastal Health and from the health ministry of what the plan is.
With a growing seniors population and a wait list for long-term care facilities.
Yeah, it's a mess.
The mayor of Gibson's and chair of the Sunshine Coast Regional Hospital District says the situation is putting stress on other parts of the system.
Our hospital is overflowing right now with people waiting for long-term care. And it's causing challenges for all the other needs of our hospital, too.
CTV News asked VCH how many beds were being used. It did not provide a comment. The local MLA, Randy Neal, says she'll continue to advocate for long-term care solutions. But for residents like Sarah trying to navigate the system, she feels the future is unclear.
Not knowing something is probably the worst part about this, is just trying to plan.
Demetri Maragos, CTV News, Seashelt.
A new Canada-wide medical study has revealed that a troubling number of seniors are struggling to recover following surgery. That includes suffering new disabilities or even death within 6 months of a major procedure. CTV's Adrian Gobriel takes a deeper dive into the post-op experiences.
The road to recovery for seniors following surgery can be fraught with challenges.
My intestine exploded and it caused major infections.
Sandra Espinosa is still struggling to find her footing 4 months after a lengthy abdominal surgery.
I even find it difficult to stand up and wash dishes. Something that's so simple, but it's not simple for me anymore.
More than 2,000 Canadian seniors 65 and older were enrolled in a national study by a team of doctors across the country. Their investigation found that 1 in 6 seniors suffer new disabilities or even death within 6 months after going through a major non-cardiac surgery, increasing to 1 in 5 after 1 year.
They had a poor quality of life. They were almost 5 to 6 times more likely to have significant depression.
How concerned should we be?
70% of patients survive surgery and they're functional. That's great. We still have a proportion, that 1 in 6, that struggle. And so we now understand how often that occurs, so we can communicate that to patients. We can have this discussion that we need to have more often before surgery.
Is there more that can be done to better prepare patients ahead of their surgery?
Yes. None of us would choose to run a marathon tomorrow without preparing. But yet we get people to go through very stressful sort of psychological and physical experiences with surgery, oftentimes without much in the way of preparation.
You nearly died post-surgery.
I was very much almost a statistic. Post-surgery is a long battle.
Espinosa hopes that her story and this study begin a vital conversation across the country. Researchers also say that both patients and healthcare providers need to reset their post-surgery expectations. The study found that it's taking the average Canadian senior 3 to 6 months to regain their full physical capacity.
And now we take a look at both your nightly and weekly weather forecast. On the north coast, tonight's weather will be home to a chance of showers and a low of 2 degrees, while the rest of the week mostly sees clouds and possibly the occasional bit of sun, with the high bouncing from 5 to 8 degrees. In the Terrace Kitimat area, tonight expects to see a few flurries and a low of -1 degree. And as for the upcoming week, it'll start off with a clearing day before dealing with lots of snow and clouds as the high shifts from 0 to 3 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, the night for them calls for a chance of light snow and a low of -5 degrees. And the next week or so we'll see a lot of snow and clouds as well, with maybe a dash of sun and a high moving from -4 to 0 degrees. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. Highway 16 has construction work, bridge maintenance, utility work, road maintenance work, and the Esk Ferry is out of service due to the low river level. Highway 37 has utility work and industrial traffic between the Nass River Bridge and the Bell 1 Bridge. Highway 37A is still dealing with falling rocks between west of Isiadin and east of Stewart, as well as bridge maintenance. And the Nishka Highway has some roadside brushing. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the View of the Province's highway cams. Still to come, people are being warned to watch out when making Black Friday purchases. Welcome back. A Kelowna man accused in a deadly hammer attack on his estranged wife was sentenced in a separate assault case. CTV's Michelle Bernoro has more.
I loved her more than anything in this world.
An emotional Karen Fair is talking about her daughter, Bailey McCourt. She was killed last summer. James Plover is charged with first-degree murder in her death. But today, Fair was at the Kelowna courtroom as Plover was sentenced for another crime where the identity of the victims is under a publication ban.
He's not getting out, so that is good. He will stay in there.
Plover was sentenced to 1 year jail on a choking charge and 6 months on each of the 3 counts of threats to be served at the same time. McCourt's mom says she's frustrated Plover will get credit for the time already served awaiting trial on the assault charge. He will end up serving about 5 months.
I cannot get over that they credit them time. You know, I got a real problem with them crediting them time. Why are we doing that?
Plover was convicted of the assault offenses July 4th and let out on bail. Just hours later, it's alleged he beat McCourt to death with a hammer in a Kelowna parking lot in broad daylight.
He never should have been allowed out in the first place. We need to get trackers on these guys.
Plover is back in court on the murder charge January 13th. Michelle Bernoro, CTV News, Vancouver.
From heritage preservation to modern earthquake-proof foundations, the decade-long rehabilitation of Parliament remains the country's largest construction site. CTV's Tyler Fleming takes us inside for a look at the work happening at Centre Block.
From outside, scaffolds and cranes aside, the centre block of Canada's Parliament looks familiar. To know the depths of its restoration, you have to step inside. Starting 2 stories below, the old foundation is being dug out and replaced with an advanced earthquake-proof system.
The whole load of the building, all the way up from the very top, right down here, it's all been coming down through, transferred onto the steel beams, onto the steel piles, all the way down.
Above ground, work has begun to restore around 50 rooms to architect John A. Pearson's original post-1916 fire designs, like the Salon La Francophonie.
Senators would meet here after the session ended.
Once a smoking room, that's long gone, but its cathedral-like designs preserved.
If you look around, you can see a lot of the attention to detail that we will be bringing back to the space and maintaining the preservation of it.
A priority for the project is to source as much Canadian materials and labor as possible.
It means a lot to us.
Helping to restore woodwork, Indigenous-owned company R. Potvin Construction.
To add to the Indigenous community, bring it to light that we're here and available to learn and grow and be part of the whole system, you know.
When complete, the building will look as it always did, but high-tech modern systems behind the walls will ensure it lasts for generations to come. And buried out front, a new visitor center with classrooms, a theater, and cafe.
It will allow Canadians new and a transformed visitor experience of ways to connect with Parliament.
As the project moves into the next phase, its cost, originally around $5 billion, will soon be reassessed.
Once we're able to price out the design that's just been completed, we're able to reset and re-baseline.
In 2026, all of the Centre Block's exterior, including the Peace Tower, will be covered up until the project's near full completion around 2031. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
Millions of people are expected to do some holiday shopping over the next few days as Black Friday sales kick off, but experts are warning to beware of discount dangers. As ABC's Alex Stone reports, deceiving deals could end up costing you more.
Everywhere you look, deals, discounts, sales, it's hard to pass up a bargain.
Personally, this happens to me a lot at places like TJ Maxx or a thrift store.
But the advertised savings can end up tricking us to spend more.
This is not an accident.
Well, you may be saving money on items you've been eyeing for a while. Stores using marketing tactics drive us to buy things we never wanted in the first place.
There's a limited time deal, or there's limited amount of products or a limited amount of people who can take advantage of a deal, for example, and brands will capitalize on this.
Those price cuts are not always a real markdown from the product's market value.
A month before Black Friday, they might jack up the prices more so that they can slash them and you feel like you're getting a great deal.
Online retailers offer free shipping, but only if you spend a certain amount of money.
If you weren't going to spend $5 on shipping, what's the point in spending another $30 to buy something else? You're not saving any money.
With high inflation, it's good to be mindful of these promotion strategies. If you're browsing the stores, remember to stick to your shopping list. list.
If you think about grocery shopping, you really should always come in with a list of things you want and don't come hungry. The same thing with Black Friday deals or any kind of shopping. Know what you want, or at least know what your budget is and how much you're willing to spend.
And before adding to your cart, take a moment and ask yourself, would I buy this without the discount?
Do I genuinely want this, or is this just a marketing ploy that's working on me?
This mindset can help you now and when you're shopping all year round. Alex Stone, ABC News.
And now we turn our attention to the stock markets and how they're looking today compared to yesterday. The Canadian dollar is up 28/10 of a cent. The price of gold is up $52.60. Oil is down 10 cents. Natural gas is up 23 cents. Aluminum is down $18.50. In Toronto, the TSX is up 186.07 points. The Venture Index is up 15.26. In New York, the Dow Jones is up 289.30, and NASDAQ is up 151. Still ahead, first responders on a snowy interstate just narrowly avoided disaster. Welcome back. First responders narrowly dodged disaster on a snowy interstate, and onlookers took in the surreal scene of an animal stuck on a ledge. CNN's Patrick Cornell now with Take a Look at This.
Your whole life goes before your eyes.
Deputy Fire Chief Brian Geary thankful to be alive after this incredibly close call with a truck. Watch again as first responders sprint to safety a split second before the vehicle slides through.
Not a great memory.
The near tragedy happened while Geary was responding to the scene of a 10-car accident on a snowy North Dakota interstate. The Harwood Deputy Fire Chief calling it his closest call in 17 years on the job, also issuing a plea for drivers to slow down and give first responders room to work.
Help us to get home safely to our families.
In Florida, not a scary scene, but surreal, perhaps bizarre.
We've had bears and trees and stuff like that, but never a coyote on the side of a building.
A coyote somehow found itself perched on the ledge of a Fort Myers hotel parking deck for a couple of hours. Onlookers both concerned for the safety of the animal and confused how it got there.
How did it get on the ledge? And then also, what are we going to do to save this poor animal?
Police, firefighters, and Fish and Wildlife all showed up and did their best to wrangle the wild animal. In the end, the coyote simply decided to safely slip back into the parking garage and run away. If that wasn't strange enough for you, take a gander at this house decked out in all things Stranger Things to celebrate the series' 5th and final season. Colorado teenager Jared Meisner is the creator of the Hawkins-inspired upside-down display.
Probably 10 out of 10 on Stranger Things fan.
Including all the hits, a Demogorgon, the Mind Flayer, and Max suspended high above the ground. This Stranger Things shrine really shines at night. It's been given a Christmas twist so fans can fan out all holiday long. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
A pedestrian suffered life-threatening injuries after a hit-and-run in Vancouver. Police say it happened near the intersection of Gravelly Street and Slocan Avenue yesterday. Investigators say the 40-year-old man struck by the vehicle was hospitalized but haven't mentioned much else about his condition. Police are urging anyone who may have information about the incident to contact them. That's all our news for now. From everyone at CFTK-TV News, I'm Kale Maslin. Thanks for watching.